Welcome to Encelium's Site Readiness training video. During this video, we'll be going through the various steps to assist you in having your site ready and installed for programming. One of the main documents we want to discuss in this section is the Encelium Startup Services document. Now, this form, as you can see, has various fields that need to be filled out for us to properly commission your site. These are checks and balances to make sure that you have done your part in helping us to do our part. However, we'll be only focusing on one section of this form. The section of the document that we'll be discussing has been pulled up. As you can see, these are checks for the electrical contractor to make after doing the proper installations and tests to verify that they've done their due diligence. The first item we want to explore on this excerpt from the startup sheet is the SSU, third checkbox from top. So from this picture, you'll see that the SSU is pretty much a computer. And for installation purposes, all you want to do is make sure that the SSU is hooked up to the Ethernet switch. From the factory, the SSU comes with a default IP address on the GB2 port. This GB2 port should be labeled on the device. In this case, you hook up the Cat5 cable from that GB2 port to your Ethernet switch. And last but not least, make sure to power the SSU by connecting it to 120 volts. Having followed those simple instructions, you can check off your first box that the SSU is installed. Making our way down the request for startup sheet, we want to make sure that the energy control unit, also called the extend manager, and the wireless manager, also called the wireless extend manager, along with any network switch, are connected to non-backup 120 volt power. Now, it is imperative that these devices are on normal power and not emergency power, because in the event of an emergency situation in which normal power is lost, if these devices are on emergency power, the controls will operate as normal, and you would not want that. That will fail an emergency test. So under normal conditions, it operates normally. Under an emergency condition, it should be hooked up to non-backup power, whereby these devices fail, allowing the emergency condition to be met. So for a wired system, remember 120 volts non-emergency circuit should be powering the extend manager. Same thing for the Ethernet switch, 120 volts non-emergency. For the wireless system, same rule applies, non-emergency. So these wireless managers should be on normal power. Having ensured our control unit and network switch has been hooked up to normal power, we can move on to the next step. The next step entails ensuring our control unit is hooked up via Cat5 cable to the network switch. If more than one control units are in place, ensure that these control units are hooked up via Cat5 cable to the network switch accordingly. Once our Cat5 interconnection has occurred, we can check off our third box. The fourth box deals with component installation. Now, every project is unique. Some are wired, some are wireless, and some are a combination of wired and wireless jobs. And for this, you have to refer to the specific installation manual and request a kickoff meeting from your Encelium project manager to go over the details specific to your job. After requesting your kickoff meeting from your Encelium project manager, and you have successfully installed all the material, you can check off the installation box. The fifth box deals with the green bus installation. The green bus is the name given to our 2-wire bus system. As previously stated, the Encelium green bus system is our 2-wire bus system which interconnects all Encelium devices. As you can see, the end of the green bus cable has special connectors, and these special connectors are used to connect into every Encelium component. Our green bus cables are either pre-terminated at specific lengths or they come in a 1,000-foot spool of cable in which you can cut to specific length and add the connectors to them as needed. Every Encelium component has inputs to receive this connection with the exception of our wall switch, which requires wires to be stripped, bare, and inserted into the terminal block. Having ensured your green bus cables are installed, your fifth box can be checked off. The last two boxes look into the testing tools used to test a wired job and a wireless job. We'll first look into the testing tool used to test the wired job. For the wired job, we have our green bus tester. The green bus tester has one input. That one input should be brought to the last node on the channel with a pigtail green bus connector that's placed into the last device. And if the ECU is all connected to power, this should show a green light on the tester. And this green light indicates that there's continuity from the last device to all the way back to the ECU where the power is being sourced. If in the event you do not see a green light, that means that there is a break somewhere in the channel. You would have to work your way back until you find the break. Once you find the break, you connect it into the device, go back to the last device again, and then you should see your green light. Again, the green light indicates that there's continuity all the way on your channel. Repeat this step for every channel in the field. The control unit also has a feature to assist in the installation. This feature is what we call the installation mode, and this is what the electrical contractors should be using to test their connections. If the fixtures are dimmable, by putting it in the installation mode and cycling through the various steps, all fixtures connected to channels connected to the ECU should go through a dimming process of 100% brightness, 25% brightness, and off. We put the ECU or Extend Manager in the installation mode by pressing the button on the front that says Installation Mode. After pressing that button, the next thing you want to press is the Confirm button. That will put the Energy Control Unit or Extend Manager into installation mode. Then you click on the button that says Cycle, and it cycles between 100% brightness, 25% brightness, and off. To exit installation mode, you simply hit the installation mode button, or if left unattended for 10 minutes, it will exit the installation mode automatically. It should be noted that while this ECU is in installation mode, you can go to any switch connected to any channel and press any button on the switch, and it will toggle through the same process. 100% brightness, 25% brightness, and off. Note, every switch everywhere will do the same thing. This is to ensure that fixtures that are wired for dimming will go through their dimming phases. Therefore, you can see any dimming issues before our techs go to site and correct them. If the job is a wired job and not wireless, there'll be no need to go to the last box. You can check off that penultimate box and that will be it for the wired scope. If in the event that the job is a wireless job, then we need to look at the last box. This last box deals with the installation testing tool for the wireless job, also called the wireless testing fob. The image to the left is the wireless testing fob. This testing fob has two buttons, a normal button and a high button. Note, this fob is used to test the wiring of your modules to the fixtures. Once your modules are connected to line voltage, these will react to the buttons pressed on the fob. Under normal circumstances, the normal button should be pressed. For fixtures that are high bay fixtures, if the normal button does not work, then you can press the high button. Use the pressing of the high button on the key fob sparingly, as pressing the high button frequently will result in the depletion of the battery faster as opposed to the depletion of the battery under the normal mode. After testing the wireless system, we can now check off the last box, which indicates that the wireless fob has been used to test the wireless system. Now we can move on to checking off box number 2, which indicates that we've done all the checks and balances for everything that's under box number 2. Congratulations! You've reached your last checkbox under the installation section of this Request for Startup Services form. This indicates that the fixtures are energized, circuit breakers are on, and you're ready to go. All you have to do at this point is fill out the rest of the form and submit this form to your rep or your Encelium project manager, and they'll assist with scheduling the job for tech to show up and program your site.